I couldn't compete with that imagination. So I kept the name, but put on a mask and started to work hard to create that Lucha Libre character.
And that's, every time I hear the story and, I start piecing together, because I've watched now like every, wrestling documentary and stuff,
yeah.
Just because it's, again, it was that thing that captured your fascination as a kid.
Yeah.
We used to go rent the videotapes.
Yeah.
This is how old I am.
That's how it was, yeah.
You'd have to go to like Video Warehouse out on Park Avenue to get the most recent WrestleMania or whatever. And just to see that somebody from Muscatine was able to actually start following that whole path is amazing. And when you think about how wrestling was structured at the time, it wasn't, like now you see WWE and it's this big national, international thing. It wasn't. It was all these like regional groups.
Promotions,
right? Like regional promotions that, Hogan and all, like they would bounce between them, and like then all of a sudden McMahon, comes in and he gets the national deals and stuff. But like what you were able to do was essentially what all those guys did at the beginning of their careers.
Yeah, just find my local, at that time, Dallas, Texas was still, it was the dying days of those great Texas wrestling days, but at one time that was a great promotion, World Class Championship Wrestling with the Von Erichs.
Yep.
And I had my first match at the Sportatorium, and Skandar Akbar was a big star of World Class Championship Wrestling as well. And
but yeah, Texas Tornado too, folks.
Texas Tornado, Kerry Von
Tornado,
Erich.
throwback.
Yeah, he had a great physique. What a talent he was. He just was that classic 80s wrestler.
Yeah.
And that was what the business used to be like. You had, every area had its wrestling, Southern wrestling, Nashville, Tennessee, Florida had their own wrestling with Dusty Rhodes as a big star. And that's how I was able to break in. And it was just a great era to be a fan. I love pro wrestling, and that was part of the reason I created Latin Thunder, was because, I was a good wrestler and everything, but right about the time I was 30, I began to realize, we're not just wrestlers, we're performers, we're entertainers. And that's when I really began to learn about how to become more of a persona and a star. And finally, when I created Latin Thunder Lucha Libre character, I was able to kind of put it all together and create a little bit of a superhero character and honor my Hispanic roots. I'm very proud of being Mexican American, and Muscatine has a vibrant Hispanic community, and it was a way for me to bring a little Lucha Libre to Southeast Iowa, and that's been pretty cool.
Yeah, so that actually kind of brings us to some of the other stuff you've done as far as your writing, right? So you started off with a blog and a website, kind of like, recounting some wrestling stories and things like that, but then you also kind of took this, what I would almost call like a hard left, into financial, some financial writing and stuff. So how did this all kind of like come together?
So I always start things a little late, it seems like, I think really having a blog and all that would have been fantastic in the mid-2000s, 2008, but I wasn't thinking that way. And then, when I created the Latin Thunder character, I decided one thing to make me a little different on the independent scene was to write a book. And one of my peers had self-published a book. Thanks to Amazon, you could self-publish, and it created a whole new world. So I decided to write my memoirs. So I self-published the book, and it was a good process, and kind of got the writing bug again.
Yeah, and this is, I haven't been able to read the whole thing, which it's on my list, but it's, what I love about how you approached this was the realness, right? Like it's literally what it was like to do it.
Yeah.
Like it's not, you're not gonna find these like crazy over the top, drug-fueled rages from airplanes coming back from Europe, like what happened in the WWE, which is good, right? Obviously,
those are great stories to hear as a fan.
Sort of great. They're entertaining stories, if nothing else. But to hear like the real like grassroots, the real like everyday wrestler, what it was like to be in that arena. That's awesome. Yeah. Amazon, right?
Yes, on Amazon. I sell some copies myself, and whenever I make appearances or wrestle, I got copies as well.
And we'll keep some down here at the office too.
That would be great.
If somebody wants to grab one.
So that was really the process that kind of got me to think about writing, was to self-publish the book, write my memoirs, and finish it. That was one thing. A lot of the book is my regrets, the mistakes I made, the lessons I learned, the things I could have done better. And being in a profession that's so physical and athletic, you have a time. There's only so, you know, and like most, I don't know, I think I'm a typical guy. I wasn't really that bright in my 20s, and I wasn't the most mature. Yeah, you're not making the best decisions. So when you meet someone that really is doing well and disciplined in their 20s, that's a guy, let's be truthful. I meet a lot of girls that got their stuff together, young women, but not as dudes. When you meet a guy, that's rare, right? Well, when you're a pro wrestler, that's when you need to be disciplined and working hard and patient and have all these skills and talents. And I just didn't have it like most guys. So when I finally began to have those good principles and that discipline to stay consistent, to follow through, it was really too late to be a WWE superstar. And that sand was kind of going away on that time clock where I knew my career was finishing up. But yeah, I wanted to right some of those mistakes I made. And as I began to write, I was like, hey, here's something that I can do really for the rest of my life, is I can pursue the craft of writing. And it got a little bit of the bug in me. And then I just started to do some more writing during the pandemic when we had a little bit more time.
So what did that all lead? So you're doing a great job of telling the story. Like, I don't even have to like guide you through this. This is kind of nice. I get to just sit back and enjoy Juan talking. So when you started writing in the pandemic, you sort of shifted what you were writing about.
Yeah.
So where did you shift to, and what caused that shift?
So I've always been a little bit interested in finance. So I loved going to the Muscat Public Library. My dad loved to read, so I got that reading bug from my dad, and that helped him a lot. He was a Mexican immigrant, and his English was really fantastic, and it was partly because he was a voracious reader. That helped him a lot. But I loved reading, and I'm a little bit of a financial nerd. I'm embarrassed to admit this publicly, but I've read Warren Buffett books when I was 18, 19 years old.
So did I. Yep.
Yeah, so, you know, I just was always interested in finance, personal finance, and reading books about that. So during the pandemic, you had more free time and time to do some more reading. So I discovered a website, Humble Dollar, that was a lot about personal finance and retirement, and I really enjoyed the website. And Jonathan Clemens is the gentleman who handles the Humble Dollar, who started it, and he has a great background. He wrote for the Wall Street Journal for almost 20 years, so he's a true pro when it comes to writing, and he offers the opportunity for anyone to submit something. And I was like, you know what, I wrote a memoir, I've read my whole life, maybe I can write something for Humble Dollar, and he published it. He was kind enough to publish it, and I was able to get some good feedback on my writing and find out that, okay, I got a little bit of talent at this. And I saw also from his editing how much a great editor helps, because he was fantastic.
It does. And that's, you know, kind of a little segue, or little aside here, you know, when Misty was here talking about what the local writers do for each other.
Yeah.
It's amazing. You guys have this nice little group that can offer that constructive criticism, the other points of view, before it even goes out into the world.
Yeah.
Right? And that's, you know, obviously, you know, we create a lot of content every week, and you know, without Margaret steering the ship and making like, you wouldn't, first of all, there's a reason you never see anything I write in print. Okay? Because Margaret would have to redo it all anyway, so we just let her. But you're right that, and she's actually here this morning, and she's just like, I think she's happily trying to ignore me.
She's trying to be shy. Yeah. She's a great editor. You know, I had to turn in a piece recently for Discover Muscatine, and you know, she just made it better for the reader. Yeah. She cleaned it up, and it wasn't just about commas and grammar. You know, it was also just some slight little things that just cleaned it up and just made it better for the reader.
So that actually kind of brings us to another cool thing that I think it's cool. I may be a little biased, but
I think it's cool.
You know, as you and I have talked, and all of a sudden it was like, well, what if I did a column for the paper? Like, I don't even know, was it? I think it was your idea.
Yeah.
It was, yeah, because you called me and you're like, what if I did this? And I'm like, wait a second, that would be cool. And you know, and we talked and we kind of like brainstormed together like what it could be. And you know, I think where we ended up at this, so his column is outside the ring.
Yep.
And it's this neat combination of what it was like to grow up in Muscatine, particularly from the Hispanic point of view.
Yes. Yep.
Some of those stories that like people may not have heard, or like the most recent one, people that maybe some of the community didn't know, you can shine a light on them and do it in a way that's really Muscatine.
Yes.
And that's what's great about your story is even though you've done all this cool stuff, it all kind of comes back here. Yeah. It's like that boomerang effect. I'm sure anybody that's lived in Muscatine their whole life knows what the boomerang effect is. Muscatine has this really crazy ability to pull people back.
Yeah.
It's like...
And it's a great community. As you get a little bit older, you might appreciate it. I know I did. I appreciate it a little bit more. And being part of the Hispanic community, I've noticed, hey, a lot of the folks who love our town are folks who aren't originally from here, because some of us who were born and raised here, we take it for granted. But when you meet a lot of Hispanic immigrants and Mexican American immigrants, they have an appreciation for our community because they see the opportunities, they see the great manufacturing jobs that help pull so many Latinos into the middle class here in Muscatine, and it's wonderful to see our community. I go to my daughter's orchestra concerts and I see so many folks. I saw the graduation issue that you guys put out, so many folks with Latino names, Hispanic names, and it's so much different than when I grew up and my brothers did, my older brothers.
Yeah, and that's, Muscatine has this weird dynamic. Like I grew up here, I experienced the 80s and 90s here, where it got like rough for a little while, like it did for everybody. We were middle class, of course, and my dad worked at Han, my mom worked at the Y, and then community services. And Muscatine, when you're young, Muscatine seems horrible.
Oh yeah.
It is like, if you're under 25 and you grew up here, you're like, oh my goodness, I cannot wait to get out of here.
Yeah.
And I was the same way. And, went to Iowa City for a couple of years, short stay in DC. And all of a sudden, just by, the connections you make during your time here, an opportunity comes up. I come back to work at Krieger's. And then the next thing you know, it's 20 years later, and here I sit with a newspaper and TV channel in Muscatine because I love the town, right? Like, to tell these stories. And that's what I see, like, in you and, like, even Phil and, like, some of those others that write for us. It takes an appreciation of Muscatine that comes with time. Yeah. And I think that's one thing that a lot of us are trying to do is trying to just tell those stories. Yeah. And I think yours fit in so well. And
I appreciate the platform. That's the thing is that it's great to have these ideas, but we need a platform to, show, the great story. The most recent one is on Arturo Sapo Lopez, who was a local boxer, worked at the Heinz factory, and took up boxing late in life and had a great career, and did some cool things. And a lot of folks know about it, but a lot of folks don't,
And like until I read it, I had no idea, right? And like, that's what I love about the perspective you bring is you've kind of got this whole lane that is stories that haven't been told in Muscatine. Yeah. And so I always look forward to seeing what comes in when you're writing because I know it's going to be something that like it's like adjacent to me. Sure. Like when you were talking, like one of your first ones was about playing baseball.
Yeah, at Eversmeyers Park.
Down at Eversmeyers Park, right. Yeah. And which, so Eversmeyer Park is on Orange Street. Yep. Right, so kind of, block off of Mulberry right there, just past
Jefferson
the school.
Yeah.
Yep. And so, like, I grew up, like, when we moved in 7th grade, we moved to Mulberry, 1118, like, literally right at Eversmeyer Park. Like, you can see it out the front door. Mm-hmm. And, like, you're telling all these stories about that park that I never went over there, right? Because I was past my park days by the time we moved there. But just, like, it's so crazy to think about all of us that grew up in these different little pockets throughout town. We all have these stories. Yeah. And it's great to actually get them out.
I appreciate it, and like I said, I enjoy the platform, and I wanted to always be an orgulloso Mexicano, Latino. I'm proud of being Hispanic, but also being Latin Thunder and being a luchador helped me express a lot of pride in our community, and I think it served my talent in wrestling helped serve the Hispanic community, and it's given the community here in Southeast Iowa something. But I think my little bit of talent I have toward writing is going to do the same thing because there's a lot of stories out there that haven't been told, and I feel fortunate to be able to tell them because it's just simply through writing. I'm not doing anything special other than just sharing these stories that a lot of us already know about, but many folks don't. So.
Well, and that's, one other thing that this helped drive, and it's something, when we first started this thing 4 years ago, we had this big whiteboard of all the things we wanted to do, right? And one of the things that I put on there was have Discover Muscatine available online in Spanish. And it was one of those things that was, because obviously there's a huge community there that, even if it's not perfect translations all the time, having it available is 90% of the battle. And as you kind of started to come on board and, a couple of us talking like, it's time, we've got to get this ready. And so a lot of people may not realize this because we've kind of soft launched it. But about 2 months ago or so, actually maybe even a little bit more than that, we launched the Spanish version.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
See, and we really haven't told a lot of people.
I didn't know that,
We wanted to make sure that it was going to work and work well. Down in the bottom corner, Margaret, is it the bottom corner, bottom left, where the flag is? I can't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, sounds right. Down in the bottom left of the website, there's a little flag. You can click on it and you can flip it into the Spanish mode.
Cool.
And what's great about it is it's completely indexable. Like now, if you do a Google search in Spanish, our site will pop up. So like all your stuff is available. You might want to go back though. You might want to double check some of the translations. We might have.
I'm not the best at translations either, and you'll see that a lot in our Hispanic community, right? A lot of us are bilingual, but many of us feel more comfortable expressing ourselves in English, and that's just going to continue as a trend. And the bilingual translation's great, but honestly, I think it's fantastic. Just more and more folks here in the community need to have the Hispanic community be part of the staff. Like sometimes let's include them as part of the team, because we're going to bring something you just don't know. It's like you didn't know about Arturo Sapa Lopez. People weren't thinking about Jorge, who opened up Royal Grooming. I have seen Hispanics and African Americans leaving the community constantly to go get their hair cut and going to Cedar Rapids, going to Moline, and going to these other vibrant shops. And now that Jorge's here, he's booked solid, and that's something many folks might not know unless there's someone on their team or staff that's aware of that. So
awesome. So I'm super excited on where this is going to go.
Me too. Thank you.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and maybe every once in a while we'll get you to throw on the mask and
do
something crazy. But well, Juan, thanks for stopping in. We really appreciate it. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back with the Theo Wulf Foundation and Strolling for Safe Sleep, which is this Saturday.
Awesome.
It's time for an update from the Not So Late Show with Austin, brought to you by Unity Point Health.
Listen up, everyone. I've got some news. Things are still kind of crazy out there, and the pandemic is still going on. And it's hard to keep people healthy. And right now, things are really tough for healthcare workers. There are a lot of people needing help with their health. They're working very hard. They're tired. And they are working extra shifts. Well, that would be like when you just get right out of school. You have to go back and do it all over again. Ugh. So there's something you need to know. It's time to be kind. Healthcare workers are doing the best they can to help you. They just need your help too. Take care of yourself however you can with your vaccinations and your healthy habits. But if you get sick, go see your doctor. If you have to wait, be patient. Be a patient. They're real people just like you. And do you know why they're working so hard? For you. So show them a little love, or at least a little bit of kindness. That's one way we can all feel better. Okay, that's all I've got, everyone. Stay safe out there and remember to be kind to healthcare workers.
This has been a special update from the Not So Late Show with Austin. Good night. We'll see you next time.
Okay, guys, we've been through a lot together. We all know sometimes it gets hard, but it's okay to not feel okay. You know what helps? A good book or going for a walk. Not now, Fred. But what really helps is to talk to someone. Because to take care of each other, you gotta take care of you. If you need to talk to someone, your doctor will listen. Unity Point Health. Know how much you matter to this world.
And welcome back. We have with us the ladies from the Theo Wulf Foundation. This is going to get messy. No. These two, I'll tell you, we kind of are adjacent to a lot of fundraisers in town, and these two, it's an adventure. Every time you show up at one of these things, it's a million things going on, which makes it awesome. So, Lisa, Donielle, if you would, take a quick minute and kind of introduce yourself for those that don't know, and kind of a little bit about the Theo Wulf Foundation.
Sure. So I'm Lisa Wulf, Theo's mom and president and founder of the Theo Wulf Foundation. Theo was 12 weeks old when he unfortunately passed away from unsafe sleep at his daycare back in 2019. And so we created the Theo Wulf Foundation in 21 to really promote infant safe sleep, especially at daycares. As a new parent, you don't get a lot of information on infant safe sleep, a lot of daycare safety, and so that's really where our focus is on, promoting that, giving that information to parents, daycare providers, even grandparents. The times have changed so much from even when I was a baby up until now, and so I get a lot of grandparents that are like, oh my gosh, we had no idea about any of this.
Yeah, and that's what's crazy, and why it's 11. So we're not that far removed from and even just like what you would think would be common sense on how you would like put a kid to bed is like you don't do it like an adult, right? Like
Absolutely
that's
not.
like about the worst thing you could do is like
Exactly.
put a kid to bed like you go to bed. So
Yep.
and we'll touch a little bit on that in a little bit. But Donielle, what do you do for the foundation? She's the, well, we'll just let you.
Good morning. My name is Donielle Chelf, and I am the fundraising coordinator for the Theo Wulf Foundation. And I basically just get to have fun with Lisa and help her plan this wonderful event every year and do trainings and reach out to the community. And basically, I get to have fun, which is the best part of the foundation, I think.
I don't think, and this is what's crazy and what I think you guys do such a good job of, is you talk about such a serious topic, and it's so close to you, and it's not fun. We've lost 2 children, so I can never know what you're experiencing, but like I kind of get the idea, right?
Right.
And yet, an event like this, it would be really easy for them to be somber, but they're not. They really are fun. They're celebrations. You do a tremendous job with that. Like, you're always like everyone. You're always like off doing your thing. She's the one that is like running around, big smile on her face, like making sure everybody's pumped up. She's like the hype guy, gal, I guess I should say. And so it's always a lot of fun. So this is the third Strolling for Safe Sleep, which is Saturday at Susan Clark
Yes.
Junior High.
Yes.
So give us a little overview about what's going to happen on Saturday and how people can participate.
Yeah, so we have a lot of things going on Saturday. Like you said, we try and make it a fun event, celebrate Theo's birthday, and we really just have a really big birthday bash for him. And so it's our annual fundraiser, and again, we have so much going on, especially for families, children. Come on out. A lot of it's free. So we start the day at 9 o'clock with our charity walk, which is why it's called Strolling for Safe Sleep. Start that off, and even on our walk route, we have all of our sponsors we have yard signs that line our walk route, and it has a lot of safe sleep information, a lot of statistics to tie in our safe sleep information. Once we get back, we do a live butterfly release, so anybody who is registered for our walk not only receives a t-shirt, but a live butterfly. So we released all the live butterflies together for Theo. Super cool, beautiful moment to see, hundreds of butterflies being released together. After that, new this year, we are going to have MedForce fly in at 10 a.m. and land right there on one of the fields.
Hopefully
over at the
for
school.
just a fun visit,
Yes, yes.
which is why I won't be out.
Yes. So that's new this year. And then after that, I really have a big family fun day, a big birthday celebration, lots of different activities going on. So we have, I think, over 20 community vendors that are coming out. They're community businesses that we invite to come and share all the services that are available here in our community. Muscatine is wonderful with so many different agencies, businesses that help families and children, and so we invite them to come out and get that information out to the public. All of our vendors will be providing family-friendly games and activities free for children, free prizes. So definitely visit our vendors. What else do we have? Oh yes, yep. We
Wait,
have a petting
petting
zoo.
zoo?
Yep, we got a
Petting zoo. We have a
Where,
petting zoo
how,
this year.
are you guys going to just like fill up that whole field behind the
Yes.
school?
Yep.
Like,
Yes.
so when people, let's actually talk a little bit of logistics, right?
Yeah.
Because we all know that Susan Clark's kind of in this tight little world. So where should people park? Where should they head when they come in?
Yeah, so most of the parking lot will be blocked off because we have fire trucks coming, squad cars, our petting zoo, semis.
Food trucks?
Food
Food
trucks.
food
We
trucks?
have awesome
We have
food,
4 food trucks this year.
awesome food trucks coming. So there won't be a lot of parking over at Susan Clark, but you can definitely park over at McKinley school parking lot. Walk on over to Susan Clark. And
Yep. So you could use like Kindler right there.
Yes.
You could also probably park on the flip side back off of Hauser
Yep.
and walk
Yes.
across the field. So
Yep, absolutely.
that's where we always used to for soccer and stuff like that back in the day.
Yeah,
way
absolutely.
way back.
Yep.
Nice sidewalk coming back across. So bounce houses,
Yep,
it looks
we have
like.
bounce houses.
Dunk tank again?
Yep,
Dunk
dunk
tank. Silent auction, bake sale.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Our silent auction this year is
Grab that.
Huge. Sorry.
No, you're
Our
fine.
silent auction this year is huge. We have probably some of the biggest prizes we have ever had. We will be featuring this year different sports memorabilia, sports tickets, kids baskets. We have Cubs tickets, Iowa tickets. You're a big Iowa fan. We have the Iowa-Minnesota game. We have Cardinals tickets. We have, what else do we have? Signed Vikings football. If you're a Vikings fan, if you're a Packers fan. which
Donnie
I'm-
Curry.
Yep.
Donnie Curry.
I'm a Vikings fan, so I would probably like the Vikings football better. But we have a basketball hoop. We have something for everybody. We will be featuring those on our Facebook page this week, so you can kind of get a view on those before you come to the event. But yes, there's food trucks. So bring your wallet. You'll want it this year.
Well, and that's what I love about this is there's, one thing that, again, you guys really embraced that the community does with a lot of events is there's like something for anybody, like that they can
Yes.
come free and enjoy it. There's no threshold, like there's no reason that if you want to come be a part of this event, you absolutely can and you can enjoy it. If you want to do the walk, it's 25 for you, 30, and that gets you the, shirt, all that stuff. And that obviously helps contribute to the foundation. And then of course you can donate, you can continue to support with, dollars for like the silent auction and all that stuff. So there's really no reason to not go. No reason to not. There's every reason to go. Let's go that way.
There you
Margaret,
go.
I need
Yes.
I need a live editor. That's what I need. I need a live editor checking my grammar as we go. No, and that's what I love about this is you'll see everybody there. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it was, I don't even want to guess how many were there last year. I'm sure you probably know, but
Yeah.
I think we lost track. There was quite
there was a lot.
Yeah.
There was just a lot. Let's go with that.
You'll also see 4 prominent people from our community that you might be bringing up soon.
Oh yes, our pie in the face. So we also have our pie in the face with some, I guess, prominent community members.
Who is it this year?
So this year we have Sheriff Quinn Reese.
Okay,
We have Tony Tone,
of course.
of course. Chris Jasper, who is the reigning champion from last year.
He was,
getting-
and it was absolutely
it was
fun to
fabulous.
watch.
And then we also have State Senator Mark Lofgren
Nice.
this year. So our pie in the face is you donate for who you want to get a pie in the face, and whoever has the most donations gets the pie.
And you know, the worst part is I know all 4 of those guys,
Right.
and I don't know that I could decide. I think I'd probably just have to spread it between all of them.
Exactly,
And
yeah.
but then it's like, okay, you vote for everybody, you might as well have voted for nobody. So just donate and move on
Yeah,
and see what
right,
happens, right?
right.
But I don't know. Do you ever say who you want to get it?
Yeah.
Who do you want?
Well, I can't say. I haven't really decided where I'm gonna put my money at this year, but
I don't know. I
we
think
really make those pies ooey gooey, and we make them
you know,
good.
Tony, here's the thing. So Tony would take it like a champ.
Oh, yeah.
And he'd just roll with it. I mean, that's, just the guy is. And Jasper is one of the most,
Fabulous.
he's one of the most animated people I know. Quinn would, I just see him just almost like staring through the pie. You know what I mean? Because he's just like, and then Mark, I think I'd be most interested to see what
what
Mark
Mark
does.
does.
I think, because Mark, he was friends with my parents. I've known him a long, long time. And Mark's always so put together. You know what I mean? Like Mark,
Yep.
you never see Mark without some people have hair longer than they should. He's one of them. He's always put together, right?
Oh my gosh,
I,
yes.
I think I might lean towards Mr. Lofgren.
Right. Yeah, you might be kind of the surprise
We'll see.
response.
That part's at noon, so if you really want to see who's going to get pied in the face,
Yeah.
be there at noon.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so as a quick recap, let's kind of cover the whole day real quick, what this looks like so people know what to expect. Come park on Kindler, be there by 8-ish, probably?
So our walk starts at 9. So our registration packet pickup for those who have pre-registered is from 8 to 9. We do, kind of some welcome speeches and so forth right before 9, and then we walk, and it's about a 1.5 mile walk. We just kind of walk that square block from Dawson to Hauser, Fulham, and then back to the school. So really, not a long walk. Again, once we get back, we do a butterfly release, and then just a really big family fun day. Again, food trucks, petting zoo, all of our vendors, free bounce houses, our dunk tank, again, Medforce flying in. We got face painting that's going to be done by the Muskie Palm Girls. And we have free games and prizes that our foundation is running. Silent auction, again, is huge. I bet we probably have 70 baskets right now with
Wow.
still more donations that are coming in this week. Again, huge, it's been amazing this year. Again, with our bake sale. Did I miss anything?
I'll admit I'm cheating. I'll admit I'm cheating. I have the flyer here in front of me, and it looks like you've got everything.
Yeah.
And now's the perfect pitch. Just go to TheoWulfFoundation.com.
Yes.
You can see everything under fundraisers. You can register. It's all right there. So, holy cow, that was a lot. But let's take a quick moment and talk about some of the things that you brought with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And kind of leave them with some good advice.
Yeah.
How's that?
So all of our funds from our fundraiser, any donations, really all go right back into the community through our Safe Sleep kits, and also our Safe Sleep trainings that we do. So our Safe Sleep kits here are free to parents of infants, daycare providers, grandparents, really anybody that has any involvement with infants. We have given out a ton here locally. We have shipped around the United States, and we've actually shipped internationally as well. So I think so far since November of last year until current, we're well over at least 400 kits that have gone out to parents, all around the world. So included with our kits is our canvas tote bag with our logo. Also our Halo sleep sack that has our logo on it. And this is a safe alternative for babies, so we aren't using blankets because blankets can be extremely dangerous for babies. Also includes 2 pacifiers, some of our foundation merch, and then a huge folder full of safe sleep information. that's super easy to read. That's what I wanted when putting these together, was something very easy. As a new parent, anybody dealing with an infant, you don't have a lot of time to sit down and read
No.
a bunch of information. So I wanted something that was simple, easy to read, colorful because you remember it. So lots of good information in there. And finally, we have our Sleep Baby Safe and Snug book. It's a very cute board book for infants that was put out by the Charlie Kids Foundation. They also lost their son to unsafe sleep, and so they're a big foundation that puts out these books for everybody. So it's a cute little book to read as a good reminder at bedtime. So again, all of our funds, donations go into purchasing these products and getting them out into the hands of parents. Again, they're free to parents, free shipping. So if you have an infant, of any parents that need one, feel free to check out our website and you can request a Safe Sleep kit there.
Yeah, and it's super easy on the website. It's like literally right in the top menu.
Yep.
You hit request a Safe Sleep kit. It pops up to English, Spanish, which is awesome.
Yep.
Right? Hit that, and then you just check out like you do a normal, any e-commerce type of website or whatever. It's super easy. I would assume you could order them for somebody that as well. Like it wouldn't have to be for you.
Exactly. Yep, I have a lot of orders that come in for grandparents, so they get one for them and one for the parent. So we would ship 2 out. I have daycare providers, so we've shipped, up to 25, 30 sleep kits at once. So that way it's getting out to everybody that they deal with. So yeah, even, doesn't have to be for yourself. Anybody that yes, most definitely reach out.
So, and one thing, if you want to learn more or help them in any way, the website has tons of information. It's got the board information. It's got like everybody that you can reach out to. I don't think anybody's ever going to say no to some extra volunteers, right?
No.
And extra help, right?
No.
So, again, quick recap. Saturday morning, if you haven't already registered, go register online, or you can do it that morning. Be there at 8, do the walk at 9, and then just hang out, have some food, have some fun, get a pie in one of the guys' faces, check out the helicopter. It's always a good time.
Yes,
So
yes, and it's free admission. I mean, open
Yep.
to the public. Just come out, have a fun day. There's tons of free stuff. But yeah, we have a good time.
Well, ladies, thank you for everything you do for the community. Thanks for stopping in. It's
Thanks so much
fun.
for
It's,
having us.
I'm looking forward to Saturday. We'll be there, of
Thank you.
course.
Thank you.
And it's, again, one thing I love about this is just the sheer number of people that participate, the number of vendors that are there. I know, like, we sat with Alma Brunson, last year with Michaela, and like just everybody's there. Like, it's an opportunity to get a little bit of info or maybe start a conversation that you guys have provided for not just you, but for
Right.
all these other agencies and all these other people to just, it's a great place to start conversations. So,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I said, our community is very amazing, supportive. But yeah, just the networking alone is fantastic.
and put a pie in Lofgren's face. That's where we're going. I'm pushing
we're
all
going
in for
for.
Mr. You know what? I just sort of decided, we're going for Lofgren. So, holy cow. Yeah. Saturday morning, go help these ladies out, help them raise some money for the Theo Wulf Foundation. We will be,
have a lot of wonderful volunteers too that help
my
us
gosh,
this
yes.
year.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
a lot of people that have worked a lot of long hours. So
Yeah.
come have fun with us.
yeah.
Absolutely.
We will be back tomorrow. It'll be a different kind of show tomorrow, though. We will actually be at Susan Clark tomorrow for the 8th grade graduation ceremony. So recognition ceremony. It's not graduation. I have to clarify. That'll start about 9:30. So we'll also have maybe a little special guest before. So have a great day, Muscatine, and we will see you tomorrow. And tune in for Muskie softball tonight at 5. See you then.